Little swim jig fish. Got off that little runoff. Ate it. All right, first little runoff that we come up to. Just throwing a little Cumberland Pro Lures swim jig. A little Yamamoto swimming Zako. That's a fat little sucker, man. He smashed it. Let's see if we can do it again. Good fish, guys. Here we go. A little runoff. There we go. All right, folks. Little chatterwagon had a little Zako on the back of there. I don't know what happened to it, but that's a good fish. Another little runoff section. Just covering a little bit of water, running out of time, but we're still catching a few fish. And man, they ain't everywhere. It's a nice one. Nice fish. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of the 10 Horse Money YouTube channel. And man, we just missed the rain. Been trying to get over here on the lake all morning long. Just had a lot of things to do. It's been raining and the sun just started to come out. I know they were chomping this morning. I was dying to get over here so we can throw a moving bait and cover some water and see if it's gonna happen. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put some moving baits in my hand. I only got a few hours to fish, and we're gonna try to cover a little bit of water, see if we can run into some fish. I am gonna be looking for some drains. We had quite a bit of rain last night, and it's kind of rained all through the day. So I'm gonna go look for some of this runoff stuff. I said drains, but in the back of some of these pockets and just specific areas, there'll be little bits of run in, hopefully. So I'm gonna go down this little stretch, get a feel for things, and then we're gonna run around and try to find some run-ins. And we're gonna be attacking them with a swim jig, a spinnerbait, chatterbait. I do have that little Cinco with the tail spinner on there. We've got a toad. We don't have much time, so we're gonna try to cover some water. I don't know, we're just gonna have fun, man. We gotta work tomorrow. Right now we're not working. Put this camera down, let's go. Look at that. God, that's a good fish. Dang, son. It's about a 5-pounder, man. Just changed from a white swim jig to this bluegill color Bama swim jig, and I put a little Yamamoto on there, a little 3-inch. Man, first cast. Thought I had it hooked. Just pulled it off. That was a good fish, though. It's a good sign. Something that's real important when fishing a swim jig, and most moving baits in general, is to cast that thing out there, and you want to give it some action. You want to twitch it and let it fall, speed it up, you know, kind of watch my reel handle. I'm doing little shakes, and that right there will generate a lot more bites than if you're just reeling it in slow. I mean, you can still get some bites just reeling it in, but a lot of times you're generating a reaction strike. If you feel it hit a little piece of grass or something, just pop it out of that grass. A lot of times that's when you get your bites, but instead of just throwing it out and reeling it in, definitely want to impart some kind of action. I mean, a lot of times I go back and when I'm editing, I watch the footage and I watch what I was doing when I get a bite. And man, I'm telling you, like, it seems like 75% of the time I'm either slowing it down for just a second or speeding it up or giving a little rod twitch or a rod pop, but it's most of the time when I go back and watch footage and, you know, I'm catching a fish, I've done something with the bait to make it just have some kind of movement. Got it. There we go. Another one on the swim jig. Okay, so this jig, this is the Bama swim jig by Cumberland Pro Lures. I'll throw this guy back. It was fun. Got a little Yama crawl on there, and I was sitting there shaking this bait, and it's got a little rattle in it, so it has a little bit of an acoustic element. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little red rattle right there. Here, you hear that? So as I'm shaking that, it's actually emitting a little bit of noise, and the water's kind of stained, thick grass, and man, I'm a believer in that, just that little bit of rattle, because I just missed a big fish a while ago, and I was kind of just shaking that. So it's got a little bit of it's just something a little bit different, and I've been fishing this jig for a while, and I've seen it make a difference. So that's cool. We're running out of time, but we are starting to get some bites on this. So, I mean, it's telling me that the fish are kind of mid-depth to shallow, and they're wanting something. They're chasing some bluegill. There's a lot of bluegill swimming around this grass. So we're going to keep this in our hand, cover as much water as we can before it gets dark. There he is. That's a good fish. That's a catfish. All right, when I set that hook on that sucker. Might have been one I got 2 bites right before that. Nasty old thing. Come here, he's barely hooked anyway. Probably coming off. There you go, everything likes a swim jig. Man, I mean, he's barely hooked. I had 2 or 3 more bites right in there, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He'd be a good eater though. He's up there chasing shad. Hey, I want to get your thoughts on line, you swim jig fishermen out there. I've been throwing like 15-pound fluorocarbon, and I know some guys throw braid. So are you a fluorocarbon person or a braid person? I mean, I understand the advantage of braid. Obviously, you get an instant hook set. You can really winch them out of the grass. You can pop your bait through the grass pretty good. But I just feel like you get a few more bites with fluorocarbon. So maybe a fluorocarbon leader on braid hybrid would be the way to go. And also, as far as rod, this is that Virtus 7.2 swim jig rod. So anything like 7 to 7.3 with the kind of medium heavy action will work on the swim jig. I like a 7 to 1 gear ratio, just something kind of fast. Get those fish out of the grass. God, that was a big fish. Broke me off. I didn't retie. I knew that. I knew that I needed to retie. Folks, God, that's stupid. I had a little nick in my line. Should have retied. Dang it. That was about a 4-pounder. Another swim jig fish. Oh, come here, buddy. Got him. There we go, man. They're liking this little package. That's a Houdini. Broke off my other one. I just tied this one on to try it. So that's a 1/4 ounce with that Yama crawl still. Oh, kind of post spawner. long, lean. It's fun. That was fun, man. You never know. You never know until you go. Just really wanted to fish that rain, but it pulled out. We're still getting some bites. Everything is all right. There we go. Snatches up one. Old left-handed skip up underneath that tree. It's a nasty skip, but doesn't matter. It worked. Man, that sun is intense. You know, one of the things I like to do with a jig and a swim jig is mix and match the trailer with the skirt color. Now this is, this is just a sunfish color, so it's got some green pumpkin, some orange, and kind of a brown head. So instead of putting a green pumpkin trailer on there, actually that's kind of watermelon on the back, but instead of putting a green pumpkin trailer on there, I put this kind of blue, I think it's called Bruiser. So it's contrast, you know, all the colors of the bluegill in one package. And a lot of times if I have a black and blue type of jig, I put a green pumpkin trailer on there. It just gives it a little bit of contrast, and it's really worked for me over the years. So give it a try. I mean, maybe a lot of you guys do that already, but it's something that I discovered several years ago and just thought I'd share it with you. It works. That's a good one. Coming up. Oh yeah, good fish. Come here, buddy. Gotcha. There we go, folks. That was awesome. It's on that little Cumberland Pro Bama swim jig with a Yamamoto little 3-inch Yamacraw on there. And you know, one thing, this is the first time I fished that Yamacraw. It's a good quality fish. It holds up really well. I mean, I've had a lot of bites, a lot of bluegill bites on this, and both of my flippers are on there. I mean, pulled my pants down a couple times, but it's been pretty solid little trailer. So I'm happy that I picked up some of these, and I'll be fishing these quite a bit more. I'm always looking for different trailers on the swim jig, and that's another one to add to the list. But give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. We didn't have a lot of time. I mean, I think if we'd have got here when it was raining, it would have been phenomenal. But we did catch a few fish. We caught several really nice fish. You never know, after the storms push through and the sun comes out, it can get really, really tough. And it definitely wasn't lights out, but we were able to scrape up a few bites. So give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Great rod, guys. Great rod. Till next time. Alright. Little toadfish. Old topwater fish. Life is good.